how big do you see the Indian entrepreneur industry in the coming decade?
Well, first of all, I think Indians, as such, I think have one of the greatest entrepreneurial spirits in the world. You know why? Because we have no such thing called social security in India. See, pretty much most of the Western world, they have social security. I've been living in the US, and there are certain basic unemployment benefits, social security benefits, and below poverty line, people get certain sustenance benefits, and so on. But you find Indians, there is no social security, nothing to fall back on. So you have no choice but to fend for yourself and survive. So today, a person who buys bananas wholesale, sells retail, what is he? He is an entrepreneur. He has no choice because he has to take care of his family. So I think we have learned to do with little, with less resources, optimize our resources, see how we can optimize them and take it to a certain level. So that has been a big advantage over people. And then people like us, they have faced setbacks. And when they face setbacks, what choice do they have? They have nothing to fall back on. So they've learned from their mistakes and they've learned how to turn a setback into a comeback. And you find most Indians, overseas, most NRIs are doing very well. And even within India, I would say, people who are fending for themselves, who are go-getters, they're doing rather well. Now, they're doing well in spite of a negative environment. I would say the environment is negative despite that. But can you imagine if they had a good environment where they would shoot? So I really feel it is high time that we should align the national interest with personal interest and move forward, which really should be started off from a political leadership.
So, do you think this step by the government called demonetization is going to affect our economy, maybe in short run or long run?
I think the demonetization of money that has taken place, I think the intention was very good. They wanted to eradicate black money, which everybody wants to even today, get rid of black money and corruption, and of course the counterfeit money. But you see, unfortunately, very poorly planned, very poorly implemented was the worst thing. They should have distinguished between black money and black currency. Sadly, they didn't do it. And just 30 days before, till September 30th, they had given an amnesty scheme to the country to declare all the black money. And look at this, November 8th, they demonetized the currency, 85% of the national currency here. And then they said, you pay 50% and you'll get amnesty again. 50% pay amnesty. Tell me something. Had they announced in September, they wanted to keep it secret to be effective, which they really have not been effective. Had they announced right at that time in September that we are going to demonetize this money, the currency owns 500 and 1,000, and anybody wants to declare and they pay 45% and do it. You know something? The government exchequer would have been filled so much money, it's unbelievable. You know why? After demonetization, what are people who had black currency? What are they doing? They are paying 30 to 40% to get the exchange done. They're paying equivalent money to elsewhere. Now, outsider, look at this. The government would have received the money in their pocket and would have made it so easy for the whole nation to not to suffer. And you know something? Who is suffering today? The Birlas, Tatas, Ambanis, Andanis, they're not standing in line. The poorest people are standing in line. And sadly, in a country where 60 to 70% of people are daily wage earners, and daily wages are given in cash, they are the ones who are in line and they are hurt badly. And 100 people have died standing in line. If it would have happened anywhere in the world, man, it would have created a revolution there or created some major problem. But unfortunately, very poorly handled, and almost 500,000 jobs have been lost because of this, and more is going to be lost. And there are estimates that the cost, monetary cost of this policy is going to be somewhere around 1,50,000 crores. I think that is absolutely incorrect, in my opinion. Just transport industry alone has been losing close to 5,000 crores per day, 5 to 6. That makes it 150,000 crores, just one industry. If you look at other industries put together, my thought is that you are talking of close to 3 to 400,000 crores of loss that is going to come up in it, which is massive. I think very well-intentioned, very ill-conceived.
And so we are at Business World. We are coming up with a special anniversary issue called. So, where do you see India in 2035? I would just ask you this question.
Well, unless there are some foundational changes that take place in this country, really what we need is some very good leadership in this country, which is political leadership which puts the national interest above their own interest. Now, I'll just share with you the one little thing that we're looking to get FDIs moving into this country. Economic Times came up with a report in a few months ago, which said 4,000 millionaires have migrated out of India in the last 12 months. 4,000 millionaires. Which includes billionaires anyway, and when they move with their money. Why have they moved? What is the matter? We're looking to have people come in, and these are all job creators, they are not job earners. So you look at it, we need to address, is it a conducive environment? Political uncertainties. Look at the tax structure, 35% income tax, 15% service tax, 2% Swachh Bharat tax. And by the way, though service tax is considered indirect tax, but it is direct tax. Really, it is a direct taxation in my opinion, because you have to pay to the barber, the taxi driver, to the hotel. It is direct out of your money pocket, and then the customs, excise, and the tolls, and there are other taxes on top of the 52%. So if you really look at it, by the time a person earns 1 rupee, after paying all these taxes, 52% plus custom, excise, and everything, what is he left with? Close to 20 paisa to a rupee. 20 paisa is what is left. And if he has to bribe people, then he has to convert his white money into black money to bribe again out of his own 20 paisa. You tell me, is that a conducive environment? And I personally think really we as a nation are hurting ourselves financially, politically, including look at every second day political problems that are coming in, the reservation on caste that is in Haryana, then in Gujarat, Patel they have been, now in Maharashtra they have put a big issue on the Marathis for reservation. I mean, they are literally out to destroy this country. And if the way they go on, we are heading for one more partition, which is sad. So I just don't want to massage somebody's ego and say, oh man, we are heading for a great one. I think we need to see the writings on the wall and talk straight the way we feel. That's all.
So where do you see the future of Indian politics, left, right, and center?
Well, since independence, I think the last good leader that we had in this country was Sardar Patel. And since then, we haven't had it. And I think we need another good political leadership to be able to change this nation and reverse it. And we have yet to see it so far.
And this demonetization may even affect our GDP in the coming quarter?
Oh, absolutely.
And,
How can
and
it
we are
not?
expecting our budget on in
No, no.
early February.
Question is, how can it not? But my point I'm trying to make is, look, nations are not built on quarterly GDPs. Let me tell you that. Yeah, they are indicators, but they are not built that way. The biggest way to destroy a economy or a country, or how did even the MNCs in the US, all they're looking for is quarterly dividends. I mean, companies and countries don't build on quarterly dividends and quarterly GDPs, though, as I said, they're indicators. But really, one has to take a long-term perspective and move forward to GDPs are looked at with short-term gains, and sometimes they last in long-term pains. And we have to look at short-term pain and go into long-term gain in life. Our decisions have to be long-term. They cannot be based on a short-term basis. So I think nations are built on not only industry or infrastructure. Nations are really built on national character, which is our human capital, though they have created a skills development ministry and so on, no doubt about that. But I think the character building is crucial more than skill building. Unless we build that character in this nation, which starts from the top, which totally starts from the top. All people are doing is figuring out ways how to convert their black money and into white money. And most people who have the black money is what? Inventory, gold, real estate, or something. But you know something? The biggest component of the black money, which has come into India through FDIs, is the political money and the bureaucratic money which has come through Mauritius and other sources that has come back into India.
That has become black money haven.
Right. But you can't blame those countries, Cayman Islands and all. It is not the problem with those countries. Well, they have their law, which is wonderful. They have double taxation treaties to prevent you from double taxation, which is wonderful. But you see, the problem is the corrupt money which is generated here, routed through there, and brought it back here. So how can you blame them? You can't blame them. It is the generation of that money which is here, which is the root cause. So you maintain the cause and you keep addressing the symptom, it will never work. And sadly, they are addressing the symptom and not the cause.
So only in one line, do you think India will become the biggest economy ever?
Well, who cares? No, no, no. You see, India will become the biggest economy in the world. You are looking at the top line. We are number 3 world largest economy in the world today. Are you aware of that? We are number 3. Top line. So tell me, if we are number 3, if you get to 1, so what? So, in bottom line, are you the biggest economy? Are your people getting the highest per capita, highest malnutrition in the world? Is that your parameters? From that perspective, we are the highest milk producing nation in the world. Right now, we are. Okay, so what? But we have the highest malnutrition. So what are you looking, top line or bottom line? Who cares? So I don't care what the GDP is. Bottom line is, what are people getting? What is the wealth distribution? And what is the person on the street getting? Are they getting justice? Today, you don't have any recourse. Why people hesitate to invest money here? Because they have no recourse. I mean, you go to the legal system, it takes 25 years for you to get anything done. So that is legal system, by the way. And then you talk of corruption and criminalization of politics. Well, tell me, if judiciary had done the job right, could you even have one criminal in the parliament? So obviously, the mess has been created by our judiciary, who never did the job right. That is why you had criminalization of politics. Otherwise, it would not have happened. So, you know something, we need to address the basic foundational issues. And that's the key.